It's week 3 of our Australian Apology Tour, and we have a fan favorite to round things out. Friend of the pod, Nalidi from Tannins and Truth suggested we give Mollydooker a try. Let's see if this week is another knockout.
Nah.
Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast dedicated to helping you discover great wines with great value for every occasion. I'm Joel, and congrats again on finding the best damn wine show out there. As always, I'm joined by Aaron and Colin. It's our last week down in Australia here for this wine challenge. Hope not ever, just for this challenge.
That'd be sad. It's a
Surprise.
News to me.
No, I'm just kidding. Come back next week.
Yes, please. Listen, this is, week 3, our tour of Australia here. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. I think I feel pretty good about the wine that I brought in. Aaron, I think you probably feel pretty good as well.
I was happy about it. Yeah. I liked it.
And I got to say, 2 weeks in, and I think 2 pretty good contenders. Colin, I think you're sitting over there feeling really good about your chances here too, though. I know we haven't even really started, but I think you're pretty proud.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and part of the reason why I chose this one is I think this was the most recommended of the comments that I was looking through. This is the one. I think our friend Nalini might have been the one who pointed it out first, but honestly, I saw this a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, it popped up a bunch of times.
Yeah, recommendation. So from that standpoint, I'm feeling pretty darn confident.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not surprised that you've seen this around and noticed it. It's the coolest bottle that I've seen in a long time. If this was a label contest, you would be the winner, hands down.
Yeah, this is fun. This is a fun.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's a boxer thing, and there's a little bit of story there, right, Colin?
Yeah, Colin, let's not even bury the lead here. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're drinking today, and then we'll show the label if you're watching, and Colin, tell us a little bit about this very cool label.
Yeah, sure. So this evening we are drinking Mollydooker The Boxer from South Australia. This wine is 100% Shiraz. This is the 2023 vintage, coming in at a brutal 15% ABV.
It's all there. All 15%.
Yeah, we're all
present and accounted for.
Were all 3 of our wines 15% ABV? I know mine was last week. I think maybe Joel's was
a little bit less.
14.7,
maybe the least.
which changes everything.
Yeah.
A little
sure.
cushion there. Yeah.
For sure. And you could find this one for $25. Yeah, a cool little story about the guy on the label. He's obviously, this is the boxer. He's a boxer. Mollydooker is the Australian term for left-hander. So if you look on the label itself, he's actually wearing 2 left-handed gloves, which is a pretty cool.
That's neat.
Yeah, a nice little Easter egg there for those paying attention.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Got the 1950s cartoon style going on.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, no, it's a great label. Awesome label. I think which leads to an interesting conversation that we're going to have later, how much trust you can put into what a label is trying to sell you. I'm looking forward to that conversation after we get into this wine.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this wine.
Me too. And I think between the label and the coolness of it, and you're right, you don't always want to judge it by the label, but that combined with the recommendations, I'm thinking this might be a fun night here. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. Let's do some first sips. Reminder, I'm the worst one with this, but I'm going to remind you guys, keep it to one word, please. Let's do some first sips. Aaron, I will go to you first.
Spicy.
Spicy. I like it. Colin?
I'm going to say, because of our recent World Cup loss, American. And I'll have to explain more later.
Wow.
Weird choice.
I'm really
It is a weird
the
choice.
Australians all over again.
Drinking Australian wine, but
Yeah.
I'll explain later.
I'm going to say surprising. And I know I'm going to have to expand on that one a little bit here as well, but I'm going to go with surprising, and I'll tell you why. All right, I like those words, spicy, American, surprise, which, Colin, I believe was your nickname in high school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was. I was the spicy American surprise. That was my boxing name, actually, so that works out really well.
I remember
always
that.
Will be.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Our little spicy American surprise. Yeah, no, okay, so let's dig in a little bit here. Let's see what this thing's really doing. I think there's a little bit more to unpack than we can really explore in one sip. So let's get our noses in there. And Aaron, I'll go back to you first again, if that's all right. What are you getting on the nose?
Yeah, totally. I mean, definitely a lot of those dark fruits right off the back. And then I would say a lot more. Well, I said spicy, right? I feel like you get a lot of those herbs and spice that you get in, some really nice reds right off the bat. I would actually say that's probably the primary aroma that I'm getting personally.
I like that. Don't disagree with anything there.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was going to say I agree. And I think although there are a lot of similarities, this is obviously an Australian Shiraz, but on the nose, there are a lot of similarities between this wine and Aaron's wine last week. They are both Shiraz from Australia, so that kind of checks out. But, you're getting those dark fruits. You're getting a lot of pepperiness, a little bit of oak coming through as well, or quite a bit of oak coming through, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Joel?
Yeah, 100%. The oak, the alcohol, as we were referencing before,
Totally.
like you can tell this is going to be a pretty heavy hitter, and everything that you guys mentioned. But like it smells like it's going to be big. I'll just put it that
Definitely.
way.
No, yeah. Everything is very intense here.
Yeah,
like the
absolutely.
intensity of the fruit, the intensity of that spiciness and that peppery note, the alcohol, all come out of the glass. You don't have to really get your nose in there too far to really experience what's going on.
100%.
But you're right. Everything is wine is named the Boxer. It smells like it's about to knock you in the face.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good way to put it. All right, let's drink this thing, and I'll switch it up here. Colin, experience it. Tell me what you're getting on the palate.
So after experiencing it, I said American on my initial sip because the big surprise to me is the oak that's used here. And I actually, doing a little bit of research, they age this in American oak, which to me is like brutally obvious. I think American oak brings a completely different flavor profile than French oak or other type of European oak. So this to me just screams American oak. It almost reminds me of the same oak profile of like a Rioja. It has a lot of that same intensity, which I think adds to the overall intensity of the wine.
Almost like a bite to it, isn't there? Like it's like,
yeah,
for sure, 100%.
Aaron, what are you thinking?
I think that with the alcohol, it makes, that really, it's like a really intense sip, especially if you like take that breath over your sip, you like pull that alcohol burn into your throat. That might just be like, I need a little more time to burn it off. I don't think I opened this up early enough. Now that I'm sipping it, like I'm kicking myself. I wish I opened this thing like maybe 45 minutes before to give it a little bit more time. But yeah, like Colin said, oak, I think, again, those like dark fruit are really in there. And again, like I'm just stuck on that. I like you said peppery. That was one that popped out last week. I think makes a lot of sense for Shiraz, right? It's just, it has that peppery spiciness on top.
Totally agree with you guys. But at the same time, I said surprising because I do think when you're smelling this thing, you think you're going to get smacked in the face, like you said, Colin. But I think it's actually a little bit more finesse to it when you're drinking it. It's not incredibly overwhelming. Like it's big, but it's not taking me out of anything. It's all working surprisingly well. And I think that fruit, where it's not, to me, it's like maybe second fiddle on the nose, comes forward a lot more. And I think makes it a little bit more of an inviting sip, not quite as abrasive as you might think it is just based off of the smell. Anybody else get anything like that?
Well, the tannins are really chill. And I think that is helping a lot because I have to imagine if this was a big tannic wine with the oak and with the alcohol, your face would just melt, right? But I think the fact that the tannins are a little bit softer on this, which I'm assuming is kind of the trend with Shiraz, I think helps balance out that kind of shock of the alcohol and of the oak.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and Joel, I agree. I think the fruit, maybe some dark plum. I think blackberry is a good call on this one. Really shines through more on the sip than it does the nose, in a really pleasant way too. And I talk about finish a lot. The finish on this wine is delightful. Those dark fruit flavors with a little bit of that oak just seem to last for forever. The other flavor note I'm picking up, I associate this with cooler climate French Syrah. There's kind of like a meaty note, like a cured meat note on the very end. And it doesn't stick around for a long time, and it goes away really before you get into all of those dark fruits and a little bit of that oak on the finish. But it hits you for a little bit, enough to where like I'm coming back to take another sip to see if I can find it again.
Yeah.
And it's that's one of the things I enjoy about Syrah. So enjoying it in here, I think it kind of adds another layer of complexity to the oak and the fruit.
We haven't named the acidity yet, but there is
Mm.
like a nice bite of acid in this as well that I think is also making, it's making, we've talked about the wines that kind of keep making you go back for more because, the acidity is just kind of making you thirsty as you go. And you're like, oh man, if only I drink more of this wine, I'm going to get less thirsty. And now, brilliant marketing.
The self-fulfilling prophecy. No, very, very true. Yeah, it's definitely more. I don't know. I don't even know if balance is the right word because, like, there's definitely an imbalance that's really enjoyable here. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a perfectly balanced thing, and I think intentionally. And I want to go back to Colin. I think you nailed it. Like, I do think the finish is one of the coolest aspects of the wine. Maybe the most enjoyable part of the whole sip, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like where everything has gotten where it needs to go. And it's just, it's really lovely.
Yeah, and kind of back to your point too, Joel, about just like it not being as intense, surprisingly unintense. I think at 15%, the alcohol is really well integrated. There's no doubt you can still taste it, like very similar to Aaron's wine last week. It is definitely a part of this wine. There's no doubt about that. And I don't know if there's any amount of time under air that's going to get rid of that. But it's not at all offensive. Like
It's part of the
it's
vibe
not
for
taking.
sure.
Exactly. It's not taking away from anything. So even though it does smell, I think, a little bit more intense,
Yeah.
just overall on the palate, everything makes a little bit more sense, I think, than the nose does. And that might be a time thing, too. It'll be interesting to come back to this and see if the nose matches a little bit more after a little bit of rest.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's what we should do here. Let's let this thing open up a little bit. Let's sit and let's do a little wine drop situation here. How about that? All right, so we've tasted the Boxer. This is our second Shiraz of the Australia month here.
We've got a lot of Shiraz over the past few months.
We have
more Shiraz than I've probably ever had in my life. And it's not a bad thing. It's been a very enjoyable situation. So for this one, I'm kind of thinking, let's take a second. Let's talk about something that we've already sort of referenced here. We've already discussed. Before we even started drinking this thing, before we opened it up even, one of the coolest parts about this bottle, the label. There's a story here, and I think that's actually a pretty cool thing when a producer tries to do that.
Totally. And I think thinking about that way is kind of different than what we've talked about before. And I think I don't think we've like crapped on labels on this show, but we've definitely emphasized that you shouldn't be pulled in by a label. And I definitely know folks who pick their wine bottles based on how pretty the label is. But, this is not random, right? The Boxer is not random. It's not.
It can be.
But it can be. Right? Like you can get some, I've had some pretty nice bottles with some pretty bad wine in it, right?
They have, for sure.
But I think like this is not random, right? This is marketing. The Boxers are random. It tells a story. Like the artwork isn't random. It's tied into the name. It's all part of, like Joel said, the storytelling of the bottle. And someone made those decisions. Like the marketing here is really strong.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting, too, because you see this mostly in New World wines and some of the more progressive vineyards in the Old World, right? Like a lot of the chateau in Bordeaux are just going to use the picture of the chateau and some fancy French font. Like that's all you're going to get.
Right.
Yeah. But, to those wineries that are trying to put a lot into this, a lot goes into the naming, the label, the colors. From a marketing standpoint, all of that stuff matters. And none of this is really happening by accident. They're really trying to communicate something to you about what's inside the bottle before you really even get there.
And I think that's something that when you separate it out from, of course, the old world, very,
stuffy.
Yeah, I guess stuffy's not a bad way to put it, right? Yeah, I mean, they've got this history and this, persona that they're trying to align to. And, for good reason. Those have been some of our favorite wines. So much heritage and lineage in it. It's cool when you come to, like you were saying, maybe a younger, maybe a more progressive producer that isn't afraid to say, you know what, we're going to make the artwork on the label part of the experience too. To me, I think it makes it cooler walking down the aisle too at the store and actually seeing and getting locked into a label here or there. Again, like we were kind of joking around, maybe not picking by the label, but enjoying and experiencing the label and appreciating the experience and the story that is trying to tell and create as part of the experience of the wine.
Yeah, and I mean, the trouble is if you just go with the label, right? Like I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
like if you're just like, I don't know what rosé I want to get, like that's a pretty bottle, like that might be terrible for you. And we don't necessarily love the chicken wine on the show, but a lot of people like the chicken wine. Chicken wine is not the name of the wine, but the label is so basic and has a chicken on it. Now everyone, if I say like, yo, did you bring chicken wine? Like everyone knows what I'm talking about, and that is solely based on the label. And when you pair it with like the affordability and drinkability of the wine, it pays out, right? You can have the most beautiful bottle in the world, and if the wine's crap, like it's not going to matter. In fact, I would say the label's then going to be a stop sign, because I'm going to remember that and be like, oh, that wine sucked. I remember that wine, right? But
that's an interesting thing. It could go one way or the other too. Could remind you of the great or terrible experience you had.
Like all those French wines look identical to each other, which I think they do on purpose, right? Like I think like there might be some in there that aren't that great, but they're like, I'm just going to make this look like every other nice bottle of wine. And then someone's going to walk in and be like, I've never heard of this Chateau, but they look like the nice bottles. And like we've got we got that $11 Bordeaux that was like not good, but it looked nice. It looked like every other one. So I mean, all that to say, like, it's a combination, right? Like I think it's brilliant, and you shouldn't steer away from a cool looking bottle once you know the wine is good, right?
Yeah.
And then it's just like it's easy to find. Like this is brilliant because it's an introduction and the bottle appears to be delivering on what's inside.
And I think that's a really good way to think about it. A label, when done well, can give you an idea of the personality of a wine, right? Is it going to be bold or elegant, playful? It's really setting the expectations when done well of what you're going to find inside.
All right. Let me ask this then, because I agree with everything that you guys are saying. Let's look at the Boxer specifically, and I will ask you guys, how did they do? We talked about the Boxer, the kind of 1950s-ish, cartoon-looking boxer guy. He's got the two left gloves on. That's hilarious when considering the name of the bottle. When you drink it, does it align with kind of what you expected looking at the label?
I mean, I think so. I think it's the bottle. The bottle is fun, right? It's fun. Like it's fun. I don't know what it is about it, but he's a very Australian looking man, right? So they have figured it out. I don't know why, but I think there's a level of approachability and like non-snobbish nature to this picture and to this label. It's like it's fun and accessible, and I think this wine, so far, while being 15% alcohol, has kind of lived up to that aspect.
I agree. And I think with this label, they were trying to tell a story. I did a little bit of research before this. They made the label to fit the wine, right? They had it in mind when they were creating the label. So this is very intentional. And I think when it's done like this and it's done intentionally, it can make for a really nice connection. Again, like I said earlier, that really gives you an idea of what the wine's going to be all about.
Totally agree. Here, let me try to wrap this up, and you guys let me know if I've done a good job. Okay. I think what we're saying here is, no, listener, we don't want you to go out and find the coolest label in the store and buy based off of that. We want you, and I think we have learned over the years, guys, how to dissect a label, look for the things that we know that we like or that we're intrigued to try or that will indicate that there's some level of quality to the wine. So that, we certainly encourage that. But then, in these areas where people are a little bit freer to do some cool things with the label and add that to the art of making wine, enjoy and appreciate the fact when the label matches the quality of the wine that's inside, because it is part of the package, it's part of the experience, and it's intentionally put there and built for you as part of it. So take a second, enjoy it when people are being really creative and adding that experience. Fair enough.
Well said.
All right.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know what?
So
I'm probably going to post, I think in honor of this, we've had some really good wines on the show that have had really cool labels.
Yeah.
I keep Bombardier keeps popping into my head.
Oh, for
as
sure.
just like a really smart
Party
bright,
can, baby.
like colorful label that like
Yeah.
and so the story is talking about like the culture, like the Brazilian
You're having
culture,
fun.
you know, and so like that's one, like I'll repost that one. I think it is really honest about what you're drinking, right? So I love that. I love the way you said that, Joel. It's just the
Matches the
combination of
experience.
like having your knowledge, which is why we're here, and then combining it with like, you know, something cool that makes sense. And now you're gonna spot these things in a store from a mile away.
And have fun. Have fun with it.
Fun.
Wine is
Wine's
fun.
supposed to be fun.
That's right. If you don't take away anything else from that learning segment, wine is supposed to be fun.
Wine is fun. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've had this very interesting, very cool wine open here for a little while. We've learned a little bit here. We've talked a little bit about, you know, labels, the impact it has on the wine experience. I think the only thing left to do at this point is let's go ahead, let's go back through, let's call it out. Tell me anything else you want to call out on this wine, and let's go ahead and give this thing our review. All right, as a reminder, we do not believe in numbers here at the Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast. When we're rating our wines, we believe in the experience and the vibe and who you want to drink it with. So our must shares, these are wines that are exceptionally good bottles of wine that have something extra special that deserves to be shared. Our solid pours are really good wines with really good value. Our casual sippers are enjoyable, but not necessarily memorable. And then anything that's overvalued, low quality, or just plain undrinkable is a waste of your wine. And of course, if we have something that we really love, we have 3 spots in our coveted wine fridge. I believe all of us have full wine fridges, so in order to put something in there, we'd have to take something out. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and do it. This is the Mollydooker Boxer Shiraz 2023. Colin, this is your wine, so you will have the honor of going last. I am the host, so I'm going to make Aaron go first.
Super fair. No, I'm loving the heck out of this. Like I said last week, this is my style of wine. I think it's very much aligned with, you know, the Ringland from last week. I think was really good. I think this is really good. I think this is maybe a little bit more accessible. I can't put my finger on it. Maybe Colin will speak more to it. Maybe you'll speak more to it. But I think there's something about this that is very smooth, word that I hate using while talking about drinking anything. But there's something about it, despite, Joel, you said earlier, you know, it's not like it's super balanced. But the way that the knobs are turned makes sense, right? So there's, you know, a nice level of acidity. The alcohol doesn't bother me. The spiciness and the pepperiness is really cool. I usually like a little more tannin in my wine, and that's not bugging me at all. In fact, I think it works really well for what else is there. So I think this is a must share. I think it's a really solid must share, and I think it's also really it's a really cool bottle. Like, it's a cool bottle, and that shouldn't totally factor into it. Wouldn't. If the wine was trash, the wine was trash. And it's a cool bottle, and so this would be something that I would grab to bring to a friend's house and to have the story and to talk about the label and then talk about the Shiraz and like what makes the wine good for what I think is a very affordable and reasonable $25.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the word I started this whole thing with, and that's surprising. I was surprised how approachable, how enjoyable this wine was from the beginning. Surprised at how I think it has, even just over the course of, you know, this hour we've been recording and we've had this open. It is, you know, softening a little bit here and there, as you would expect, but it's softening in a really cool, nice way. Some of that fruit, I think, is coming a little bit more forward even. And some of the things, going back to what you said too, Aaron, with like the perfect imbalance, like it's still there, but it's evolving, and I think that's kind of cool. So just a surprisingly cool, fun, enjoyable wine. And this puts me in it's just a very weird position here, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. We don't usually talk about like what we're between when we're placing things, but I'm going to share with you guys here. I'm torn between a must share and a solid pour. I'll tell you why. I think this is one of the cooler examples of a Shiraz, maybe the coolest Shiraz for sure, that we've experienced on this show. For that reason, I would want to share this with people to show them that. However, in the grand scheme of things and comparing it to all of the wines that we've had, you know, I think it does fall into that just like really good wine category. So I think I'm going to go there. I'm going to say that this for me is a solid pour, on the verge of must share, but, you know, it is really cool. I think the thing where I'm lacking is just the thing that makes it really, really exceptional. You know, it's just really good and really well done. Just missing a little kicker, I think, to put me fully into the must-share category. But again, solid pours, we define them as really good wines with really good value. That is this to a T, and I've really enjoyed this one. So solid pour for me.
Yeah, I was right on the edge too. And then something you said at the very end kind of made my decision for me. You said you were looking for something where you couldn't find necessarily something exceptional. I think the finish on this wine is what makes this wine exceptional because there's just so much to it and it lasts for such a long time and each sip is enjoyable for more than just the sip, right? Like that's such a big, I say this all the time, it's such a big part about wine for me is the finish and how the sip ends. And the finish on this just goes forever. You get the fruit, you almost get all of the flavors throughout the sip and they just seem to last for forever. So I think, in my opinion, to me, that's what makes this a must share because like you guys said, it's very unique. It's totally different than even thinking back to last week, right? Like there's a lot of the same flavor profile, but I think what makes this so interesting and a must share is the American oak and how it's different. This definitely doesn't read to me like a super traditional Shiraz, and maybe that's the American oak and maybe that's why I'm enjoying it more than I think that I might have otherwise because it does have some of those additional flavors that I wasn't expecting. But
last week was very like Shiraz. Like,
right on the
this
absolutely.
is
Yeah.
an Australian Shiraz.
For sure.
And this does feel like a little bit more Americanized, like California cab. Not saying the flavor profile is the same, but like that kind of like oaky accessibility thing there.
Yeah, for sure. So I think between all of those things, I think this is a must share just because it's unique, it's fun, it's delicious, and the finish I think is what separates it for me.
Yeah, no, totally. Man, I love this. We're all very aligned, little nuances between, but man, I think we're all pretty impressed by this one.
Yeah. For sure.
It's a
no
fun
doubt.
wine. It's a fun.
It is. Fun is a great word for this. That's what it is. Everything about it. Yeah.
And I think this would be a people pleaser too. Like I think that despite the high alcohol level, despite the oakiness, I think if you open this up with a group of friends and you poured it out, most people would find aspects of this wine that they would enjoy.
And I didn't bring this up in the review, but Joel mentioned it. This is opened up beautifully. Like the nose has kind of come in line with the palate. The delta between the two is a lot smaller now. And that fruit, I think, has really come forward. I mean, it is intense, but there's enough oak and there's enough other in there to keep it from being over intense or too much. So I think overall, really just super interesting wine. I think fun is a great word.
And this could be a cool bottle to twist off that cap, look at this like neat label, and then like pour it in a really fancy decanter.
Totally.
I think something about just giving it that more time to like open up in that space might do wonders for this overall.
Agreed.
Totally agree. All right, guys. So listen, we got to talk about it, okay? Because this was a phenomenal contender. Let's look back, though. This is the Australia Challenge. As a reminder, I brought in the first contender. That was the Penfold Max's Cabernet Sauvignon, the only non-Shiraz. Feel like I should get a bonus point or two for that. Also, mine came in at about $18. Okay.
Good job.
Boy, talk about value. Am I right?
I can't argue there.
Week 2, Aaron, you brought in the Ringland Barossa Shiraz, and this was about, what do we think, $24? 24, 23, 24?
I think it's like 24
Somewhere
bucks.
in there.
Depending. You guys had like a Florida tax or
that's fair.
something.
For sure, yeah, a little disparate.
Real classic Shiraz, real great bang for your buck.
Write down,
It's
think of a
great bottle
Shiraz,
wine.
that's what it was. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, very good. And then today's, we've been just talking all about it. I think all, pretty darn impressed by this Mollydooker The Boxer Shiraz from South Australia. Again, the challenge, really, it was just to find the best, coolest wine out of Australia. So, what do we think, guys?
That's readily accessible.
That's readily accessible in the
Across
States.
Yes. Australians knowing that we are very limited and that I am sure there's some bomb-ass Australian wines that we will never get to taste just because they're just not available to us.
For sure. Very
And
good. Well said.
I just
Yeah.
start this segment out. A huge shout out to our listeners for recommending
So cool.
3 just
First time we've
outstanding
done
bottles
this.
of wine.
All
right?
Rex.
Yeah. First
Yeah,
time,
all
all
Rex.
3 are
Yeah.
Rex. And I would say out of all the challenges we've done so far, this is the first time that all 3 were good in their own way.
For sure.
I think every
100%.
challenge we've done so far, there's been like a real stinker in there.
Yeah.
And either like a clear winner or maybe 2 are halfway decent, but we've had some knucklehead wines in these challenges.
Yeah, this decision
totally
is
agree.
literally splitting hairs. Like it could be any one of on any given week had maybe
Sure.
other choices been different. So
Well, you know what's funny is I think if we slightly changed the challenge or put one other qualifier into it, each one of us would have
Sure.
won. For
Sure.
a different thing. If we did like a non-Shiraz, that Penfolds, I think it'd be tough to find anything non-Shiraz to beat that Penfolds. It was amazing.
agreed.
Or if we
Yeah.
emphasized affordability, right? Like if we really put
Yeah.
the weight into like best bang for your buck,
Totally.
like you would have, like that would be a no brainer. It's
I don't think you're
$7
finding-
less.
I don't
For
think
sure.
you're finding $17.
That's
a better bottle
that's a
of
whole bottle
Australian
of
wine for
Yellowtail in there, and the
that's a
difference
good way to
between
put it.
your wine and our wine. That's a
But it would be a 1.5 liter Yellowtail, so we have to account for
1.5
that.
liters of Yellowtail separating the cost of your wine to our wine.
Yes. I think if we were trying to go most like over the plate, just like best example of Australian Shiraz, Aaron, I think that you
Aaron, 100%.
probably brought
Ringland,
the
sure.
winner for that. Yeah,
And like
For
learning
sure.
about, Chris Ringland and what's going on there, and
absolutely.
really talking about kind of rock star, all-star winemakers producing high quality, affordable bottles. Like that's its own kind of the win right there.
100%. 100%. And then, I think if we were looking for maybe just like the coolest example, like show me a Shiraz, but show me something different with it,
Mhm.
Colin, I think you're leading in that one.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I will say probably I'm also leading in best just for this challenge, best overall.
Well,
Right.
we're
I mean,
getting
It's
there.
always, we're,
Yeah,
so,
well,
we're
over
trying to all be
there.
so humble about it because we
God,
know where
yeah,
this is going.
totally.
But Colin doesn't trust us. He doesn't trust us, Joel. He thinks he has to put in that last like little thumb on the scale.
The
Listen,
writing's on
Oh,
the
screw
wall.
you, Joel.
man.
Vote for me.
Just you know what?
Listen,
I'm giving it to the Ringland, baby.
Hell yeah.
trained as a salesman. I have to throw a pitch in towards the end.
Okay, well done. Are there any objections to crowning Collins the Boxer as the champion of just the best Australian wine readily accessible here in our challenge?
Yeah, no objection. And I will say, as
Okay.
someone who was just hoping to get my first win and is still eluding me, it's out there somewhere. Help me, folks. As soon as we started sipping on this, and as soon as it opened up a little bit, I was like, "Oh man, this is good
Yeah.
and fun." And I love that combination because wine should be fun. I mean, like Preston said when he was on, like wine is just fermented grapes that we do cool shit to. Like this is,
It's true.
it's supposed to be fun. And the biggest problem with the industry is that it feels inaccessible. And I think this is such a good example of an accessible wine, both from a marketing standpoint and a quality standpoint. So, Colin, despite how much it pains me deep down, like I am happy for you. This is definitely my vote for the best of the month.
And I didn't do it by myself. Huge shout out to Nalini at Tannins and Truth and the other listeners who suggested this wine. You guys led me in the right direction, which I appreciate. But thank you, gentlemen. I will take the crown for this challenge.
Well done.
And I do
Happily.
want to say, just summarize. I want to name this in like a compact space. I want to name this. If you want to try like an Australian cab and you need to grab like a few bottles because you're having people over, go buy that Penfolds Maxes. Like at $17, like that's a really great accessible level. If you love Shiraz, go try that Ringlands because it's just a good example of a Shiraz at a very accessible price point.
And
if you-
explore Barossa. I think there's a lot there
Oh, yeah,
too.
we-
That was
we
one of
gotta-
the cool
we gotta
things
get
about
back
that
there
too.
for sure.
Yeah.
And then this, like, if you just want like a fun, drinkable Australian wine, like this is a fun story and a fun wine. So I'm excited that we're leaving this month with 3 wines that I would put in my repertoire of like purchasable wines, and that doesn't happen to us often.
And what did we learn? Yellowtail and I think we knew this, but Yellowtail is not
Not a good example. It's
of Australian wine.
don't do it.
You know,
And especially when
there's
the price
great.
points are so close. Like go buy
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
for
Go
sure.
buy the Penfolds. Like if you're gonna go just buy the Penfolds.
Yeah. Just a little
Yep.
bit more. Aaron, tell everybody what our challenge is next month.
You know what, Joel? We're actually not gonna have a challenge for a little bit because we have all of this really incredible wine that came our way that we got to try out and review. I'm super excited about it. We have some really cool guests coming on the show for the next couple of months. Just really, a couple California wines coming out. We got some really exciting stuff coming our way.
Oh my
That
God,
being
I'm
said,
so excited.
when we do our next challenge,
Yeah.
it is going to be the best,
Uh-huh.
most affordable, widely accessible
Yes.
Greek wine.
Oh,
Oh, I love that challenge.
You know,
That's
interesting.
great.
I'm like channeling Ushwin right now, like all the conversations
Sure.
we've had just about these areas where like wine has been forever, but they don't get the love, and this is gonna be a tough one because it's gonna be hard to find Greek wines that we can all get our hands on.
True.
But I think that's part of the fun.
I
Yeah,
love that. Okay.
I love that too. Yeah, and Assyrtiko's majorly slept on grape. I mean, if you like high acid, super intense white wine, Assyrtiko is a great grape for that. So
And,
that's
like-
probably going to be my choice. Nobody else gets it.
Dibs
Wow.
for dibs.
Okay. Wow. Look at that.
And look, it's
dibs.
going to be a place we got affordability and quality, and that's something I'm excited about.
Ooh.
For sure.
Sweet.
Really cool. Great challenge.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But that's in a little bit, guys, because like Aaron said, lots of cool
So
stuff
much cool
coming
stuff
your
coming our
way
way.
over the next month or so here. All right, guys. Wonderful, wonderful episode here. A lot of fun. I think we all kind of won in this challenge, guys.
I agree.
Should we do a
I
quick
mean,
game? and
I-
then
all
let
of
it
our
go?
challenges
I
should
really
be like
won,
this.
but
Yeah, I agree. Maybe they will be. We're elevating our, how we play here. So, but I think
let's not
we've-
forget I actually won though.
Joel, do you hear anything?
I have already this whole
There's this weird,
last
like,
challenge has
fuzz
already
keeps
fled
happening.
from my head. I don't
Yeah.
even know.
So it's
Let's not even
just
document
real
this
quick,
one.
what's the total score? I think we're what 3 wins for Colin, 2 for Joel, none for Aaron.
Aaron is taking risks. He's really
That is true.
helping us explore.
The biggest swings.
The
yeah.
win for me is that we all learned something.
Aw,
That's
nice.
it's a really nice thing to say.
I'm an educator.
For not
I am-
having
I'm
won.
selfless.
Oh God.
What are we doing next?
All right. Before we let everybody go, you guys want to play a quick game?
Heck yeah.
All
Yay.
right. I think Aaron, you have something ready for us?
We haven't played in a while, gentlemen. It's time for Spellmelier.
No.
Yes.
Yay. And it's going to be Australian Lightning Spellmelier. As a reminder to our listeners, the way this game works is very simple. I give a ridiculous wine word to our gentlemen here, and they're going to do their best to spell the word.
Not your gentleman.
You are my
Go
little
on.
gentleman.
Sorry.
You do our best to spell the word. Now, here's a trick for lightning fast. As soon as they get it wrong, I'm going to tell them nope and toss it to the other person. So they have to be listening to each other very closely because there are going to be clues to get through the word. And as soon as one of them spells it correctly, they get the point. They will then get the opportunity to get a second point by defining the word.
Oh yes.
It's
my saving grace.
Super fun when we do Australian, Greek, whatever, Spellmelier, because these words are often just incredibly hard to define unless you actually know what they are to begin with.
Excellent.
So,
Love that.
gentlemen, are you ready? We will
Yes.
do 4 words with a tiebreaker.
Okay.
We're going to move it fast.
Excellent.
Colin, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 7.
6,
No. Joe?
3,
4,
No.
2.
No.
5.
Yes. Colin,
Okay.
would you like to go first or second?
I'm gonna go second. Thank you for
Hey,
asking.
there we go. See, look, we're learning
Okay.
slowly.
Fair
All
enough.
right, Joel,
Yes.
your word
Yep.
is Kunawara.
Could you please say that again?
Kunawara.
Kunawara.
Yes.
K.
No. Colin?
Okay.
Oh, it's not K. I also would have gone with K. C. Kunawara. Coonawara.
No. Joel.
COON
No. Colin.
Can you pronounce it again?
Coonawarra.
Okay, Coonawarra. Coonawarra.
That's the way you spelled it before, and it was wrong then, too.
Was it? I
Joel.
don't remember. Sorry.
Coonah.
No. Colin.
I'm probably going to spell it the same way, so lock in. Coonawah.
No. Joel.
Wait, he just did that, right?
No,
Okay,
he
wait.
added an H
No,
this
I
time
added
just
an
to be
H.
fancy.
I added an H.
Coonawara.
That's the way
Coonawarra?
Colin spelled it the 2 times that he was wrong.
I thought you put an H in there. This is bad.
Coonawara. Coonawarah.
No. Joel.
Coonawara. Coonawah.
No. That's the way
I
that
tried that
Colin
already.
did it before. You both get one more try, and then I throw you out a window.
Coonawara.
No. Look,
Coonawara. Coonawah. You?
No. Coonawarra. Coonawara.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a double R. That was a
Double
tricky
R,
one. That was a
short.
tricky
That was
one. You
hard.
both made a valiant effort, and it's not a great start for us. Neither of you got it right. Joel, would you
Yes.
like to take a shot at a definition without wasting all of our time?
Yes. Fortunately, I don't have to take a shot at it because I know what this one is. This is a vessel that is used
No,
to
Colin.
ferment the wine. What?
This is a wine region. I'm not sure what they're famous for.
It is
but
a
I know for a fact it's a wine
region located in the
Yeah.
south of Australia, where today's
Yeah.
wine was from. Maybe they
It's-
make it in this region. Who knows? All
I
right.
knew what it was. Obviously, couldn't spell it.
All right. Colin starts off with
Wow.
1 point.
Okay.
Colin, the word is tabilk.
No, it's not.
It is. The word is
Pronounce it one more time.
tabilk.
Tabilk. Tab.
No, Joel.
Tabilk. Taa.
No. Colin.
Pronounce it again.
Tabilk.
Oh, I got it.
Do you?
I got
Tahbilk. Tabilk.
That is correct.
Oh man.
Well
I was gonna
done.
put an apostrophe in.
Colin, would you like to take a shot at the definition of this word?
That is an old word for the Syrah grape.
It is an old word, but that's not what it means. Joel.
I have no idea.
I believe the tabilk is a old word for the vessel that is
Jesus
used
Christ, there are
to-
no vessels in this game. Tabilk is one
What
of
is it?
Australia's most historic and prestigious family-owned wineries. Located in the Ngambie Lakes region of Victoria, established in 1860. And it comes from the local Aboriginal word of tabak tabak, which means
Okay.
place of many water holes.
Oh, very cool.
You know, that was actually my second guess, word for word.
I
So I
imagine.
can't believe I messed that one up.
I imagine. All right, Joel, your
Yes.
word is langhorn.
Langhorn. Langhorne. Langhorn.
That's correct.
Hey.
I was sure you were going to get screwed on the E at the end and was
Mm-mm.
I would
ready.
have never put an E at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah, well done. Well done. Would you like to take a
Thank
shot at the definition?
I want to make my vessel joke, but I'm not going to because I do think that this is a region, right? This is another region, wine region.
Is a
Thank you.
premium wine region in South Australia. We are
Wow.
all tied up 2-2.
Damn. What a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Colin, your word is Quell Taylor.
Quell Taylor. Quelltailor.
Quell Taylor. Quell. T-A-I-L.
No, Colin.
Oh, damn.
Quell Taylor, Quelltayl.
No, Joel.
Quell Taylor, Quelltaler. Quell
That
Taylor.
is correct.
Wow.
All
Well
right.
done.
And would you like to take a shot at the definition? You are currently up 3-2.
I would like to. I believe a Quell Taylor is a vessel.
God damn it,
Nice.
Joel. Colin, any shot at this?
Nah, I mean, I have no idea, but my guess would be it's another term for a winemaker.
No,
That's a
it
good
is
guess.
another name of a wine making family in Australia. The historic Quell Taylor estate is famous for
I like that
producing
guess.
exceptional
Thank you.
bone dry Clare Valley Riesling.
Delightful. Clare
Yeah.
Valley known for its
We'll
Riesling.
try
that.
some Riesling. All right,
Yeah,
Joel
Wow.
wins
What a
3
comeback,
to
Joel.
2. Massive comeback. Well done, Joel. Congratulations.
That's
I think
fun.
Colin
Thank
won the
you.
last couple, so like he was
Yeah.
starting to
true.
not hate this game,
Yeah.
and you
I
ruined it
needed a
again.
W there.
Now
Oh,
I
yeah.
hate it again.
All right, fantastic. Australia,
It feels
your
good.
words are weird.
Yeah, especially that first one, man. That was a real doozy. That
A lot
really
of
threw
Rs.
me and Colin for a loop. Nice. All right. Very fun. Thank you very much. Fun episode. Fun challenge. Learned a lot. Experienced some cool things. Really appreciate everybody bringing it. Not just you guys, but our listeners. Again, thank you so much for the engagement. Thanks for the
Oh my God.
suggestions. We love it. Keep it coming. If people want to reach out, let us know some things maybe we missed, an idea for a challenge, just to say hello. Whatever you want to do. Aaron, what's the best way for folks to do that?
I mean, hit us up on Instagram. You know, that's where we met Adam. That's where we met Anthony. That's where we've met Nalini. We are, and when you reach out to us, we are reading your comments and we are listening. And you know, we really appreciate the support and the interactions and the knowledge that you all are sharing. We would not have found a lot of these wines. We probably would not have gone back to Penfolds and given them another a shot if Adam didn't reach out to us and was like, no,
Glad we did.
try the next step up. You know,
For
and
sure.
the Ringland, the Mollydooker, like. We would not have had this last month of
Great,
wine
Rex.
if it wasn't for you all. So,
For sure.
hit us up on Instagram. It's a lot of fun there.
Love it. Anything else from the surprising spicy American? You got anything to add to tap at the end there?
No, I
Very
think that
good.
was perfect.
No?
No, that's perfect. Yeah.
I just like to check in from time to time.
I
All right.
appreciate that.
Perfect. Listen, so much fun. Thank you, listener, for coming to hang out with us. Hope you enjoyed, and hope you'll come join us again next week for another great episode. And in the meantime, just remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.